Boys tonight to open the NFL season. There are some new rules. ABC's Shari Williams in Philadelphia.
In the past, if the first team got the ball and scored a touchdown, it was game over. Now, to make it more even, both teams will get at least one chance to score. This rule in place during the playoffs, and it will now be in effect the entire season.
ABC's Shari Williams in Philadelphia. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
This is the Newsradio KONP Noon Report.
Good afternoon. Todd Ortloff in the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Thursday, September 4th. A 16-year-old Sequim High School student was in custody today after allegedly threatening to shoot up Sequim High School. The Clallam County Sheriff's Office says at about 2:15 this morning, they were notified by the FBI of a potential threat involving Sequim High School. The FBI had been contacted by TikTok, who reported a post on their social media platform stating, quote, "I'm going to shoot up Sequim High School tomorrow." The FBI provided information that identified a Sequim home as the source of the post. Clallam County Sheriff's Department Sergeant Keegan immediately notified the Sequim Police School resource officer, and a suspect was quickly identified as a 16-year-old student at Sequim High School. At about 4 this morning, Sergeant Keegan and Deputy Glass contacted the boy at his home. He was taken into custody without incident and transported to the Clallam County Juvenile Services Facility. The Clallam County Sheriff's Office says the investigation is ongoing and no further information will be released at this time due to the suspect's age. Clallam County Commissioners paused approving a plan that would allow the Clallam Conservation District to collect a $5 annual fee on parcels countywide. At a public hearing yesterday, commissioners said they support the concept, but they want revisions to it before moving forward. The commissioners heard more than an hour of testimony, most of those opposed to the plan, such as Mark Curtis of Sequim.
You also state that you're 100% grant funded. Now you ask the landowners to make up for your budgetary shortfall. Let's look at your budget. Coming from a business background, I know that payroll is your biggest controllable expense. Cutting payroll and benefits by 20% will save you $108,000. Being that you are non-regulatory, if response and turnaround time is slowed, there's no regulatory consequence. We are asking you to tighten your belts, just like every taxpayer in Clallam County is doing right now.
Denise Lapia of Sequim also voiced concerns about the proposal.
We property owners in Clallam County are overtaxed as it is. To add to our burden, there are more taxes being proposed and discussed, which include your upcoming vote on the 1% levy increase on our property taxes and the cultural access tax of a 0.1% increase in sales tax. Commissioners, when will it be enough for you? When will you start to realize that you have taxed us beyond what is fair and what we can afford?
Conservation District officials maintained the new fee is vital for stable funding to support things like soil and water projects, habitat restoration, agricultural programs, especially as grants are becoming less reliable. County commissioners have asked for a 10-year sunset clause, confirmation that the charge would stay fixed at $5 without automatic increases, and a requirement that the district submit annual public reports on how the money's used. With those revisions being put into the resolution, it will go back before county commissioners later. More news after this.
End-of-life decisions are hard. Be it pre-planning or sudden loss, you need to have an advocate in your corner, which is why I wholeheartedly recommend Drennan and Ford Funeral Home and Crematory in Port Angeles, the only locally owned funeral home and crematory in Clallam County. Their expertise ensures a smooth process so you can focus on healing and being with your loved ones. Their help through the darkest time in my life will forever stay with me. Call 360-457-1210.
More acres and more chores mean you have more ground to cover in a day. The all-new Bobcat utility tractors are built for it. With 3 models that feature open operating stations or fully enclosed cabs and up to 73 horsepower, plus a Category 2 3-point hitch for heavy implement work, these job-hungry machines take your capability to the next level. Stop into Brim Tractor in Carlsberg to find out about new Bobcat utility tractors.
In other news, a Port Angeles man was killed Wednesday after his log truck collided with a semi-truck on I-90 near North Bend. State Patrol troopers say the crash happened just before 12:45 yesterday afternoon near Exit 32 when a westbound semi-truck blew a tire and then veered into another lane, hitting the log truck. The impact caused the log truck to then roll into a nearby field. That log truck driver, 38-year-old Dwayne Sukert of Port Angeles, who worked for Ellis Trucking, was rushed to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle, where he later died. The other driver, a 57-year-old man from Longview, was taken to another hospital with some serious injuries. The crash shut down 2 lanes of westbound I-90 for almost 5 hours. Olympic Medical Center and UW Medicine have now officially signed a letter of intent to explore a potential affiliation, signaling the start of a formal due diligence process. The announcement made during OMC's Board of Commissioners meeting yesterday. Brad Simmons, president of UW Medicine Hospitals and Clinics, attended the meeting to outline how the two organizations could benefit from closer alignment. He also met with OMC leadership and toured its facilities, trying to better understand the local needs. Officials say this next step involves a joint financial and operational assessment of OMC to identify opportunities for growth and to ensure any future agreement is sustainable. In a prepared release, OMC officials emphasized that the current services remain unchanged while this process happens, and patients should continue care as usual. Hawaii has joined Washington, California, and Oregon in the new West Coast Health Alliance, a partnership providing unified science-based immunization guidance. Formed this week, the alliance aims to ensure vaccine recommendations are based on safety and efficacy rather than politics. Governors Bob Ferguson, Gavin Newsom, Tina Kotek, and now Hawaii's Josh Green said the collaboration will give residents consistent evidence-based information. Now, each state will adopt strategies suited to its own laws and communities while aligning guidance with national medical organizations. The partnership also reaffirms tribal sovereignty over vaccine services. State leaders say the alliance responds to recent changes at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which they argue have weakened consistent federal vaccine recommendations. This is News Radio KONP.
A daily soak in a saltwater hot spring spa, a swim in an endless pool swim spa, or a therapeutic session in a Tilo sauna are ways Olympic Hot Tub can help you feel, live, and be better. Start today at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
This afternoon, Nancy Steffen shares her work starting a new home share program here. Tyler Benedict of the Squim City Band previews their season finale concert, movies, musicals, and marches. And Kevin Holt is back with another edition of Business Bits.
Join us at 1 o'clock Monday through Thursday for the Todd Ortloff Show on KONP. Information to keep you engaged in your community with the people and organizations who keep it running. Sponsored by Dan Shappy, Farmers Insurance.
The Ramsey Show. Up to 50% of American families are paying their adult children's bills to an average of $1,482 a month. Wow. I've never seen it like this. 25% of millennials, their parents are paying their house payment, their rent, or they're living in their basement. You pay your kids' bills. Psychologists call that enabling. As a matter of fact, enabling is quite the opposite of loving.
Catch The Ramsey Show from 2 to 4 Monday through Friday on your local information station, News Radio KONP.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton. I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon, with daytime highs approaching 72. Winds out of the northwest, around 5 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 57 tonight, mainly clear skies. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 72. Upper 60s Saturday, with a slight chance of rain showers. Turning cooler Sunday, with highs in the mid-60s. Chance for showers continues. A peek at the extended shows, 64 Monday, 62 Tuesday, and 63 on Wednesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently 63.
This is Ed from Leeds Farm Supply and Equipment Sales. Our family has trucked hay to feed the hungry animals in Western Washington for 4 generations. In that time, we have built a growing legacy of serving the needs of our customers, and we've never stopped. In 2014, we ventured into the equipment world by becoming a dealer and service provider for Mahindra tractors. Since then, we have partnered with quality brands such as Bad Boy, Aaron's Gravely, LS Tractor, Husqvarna, Snake River Trailers, and now Wacker Neuson Construction Equipment. We have a 3-bay shop where we not only service the brands we sell, but we also work on most major brands including Kubota, John Deere, and New Holland. We carry a wide variety of parts, filters, belts, and fluids. We have a fully stocked hydraulic shop and can build hoses for most machines while you wait. Chainsaw or weed eater needs some TLC, we work on small engines too. We even offer welding and fabrication services. We have been earning the Peninsula's trust for over 25 years with your animal's care, and we look forward to earning your trust with your equipment's care too.
We are ready for some. Good morning, I'm Jay Reynolds. It's been 207 days since the Super Bowl. We now have football again. Eagles, Cowboys get the season underway tonight. Philly will also be celebrating the Super Bowl championship. At least some will be. For Coach Nick Sirianni, that was so last season.
Yeah, I didn't know it was banner night. We won't be out for that.
Eagles, Cowboys tonight in Philly. Tomorrow in Brazil, Chiefs and Chargers. Full slate on Sunday for Week 1, then Bears, Vikings for Monday Night Football. Philly fans hoping for a better night tonight than they had yesterday with the Phillies.
1-0 to Collins. Line to right. Back Castellanos at the track. It is gone. A 3-run homer for Isaac Collins. 5 batters in. It's 5-0 Milwaukee.
TMJ in Milwaukee. Brewers were up 5-0 before the Phillies got an out. Milwaukee wins at 6-3. They're 5.5 games in front for the best record of the National League. Giants hit a home run for a 17th straight game. They beat Colorado 10-8. Braves with 4 in the 7th, another in the 8th to beat the Cubs 5-1. Pirates shut out the Dodgers 3-0. LA with 5 hits. Shohei Ohtani had 2 of them in the loss. Padres are swept by the Orioles. Diamondbacks shut out Texas 2-0. Rangers game and a half behind Seattle for the final wild card spot in the American League. Seattle losing to the Rays 9-4. 6 straight wins for Tampa Bay. Houston with 4 in the bottom of the 8th. They beat the Yankees 8-7. Houston now up 4 on Seattle in the AL West. U.S. Open, men's top seed Jannik Sinner is into the semis, winning in straight sets. Women's side, American Amanda Anisimova with a straight set win over second seed Iga Swiatek. Anisimova gets Naomi Osaka in the semis. WNBA, Atlanta by 11 over L.A., their 9th double-digit win since the start of August. Sparks falling a game and a half behind the Fever for the final playoff spot. Sky roll over the Sun, 88-64. Connecticut with its 10th 20-point loss this season.
In local sports, the Port Angeles and Sequim High School cross-country teams had a chance to warm up at the Olympic League Jamboree in Silverdale. 3 Rough Riders and 2 Wolves placed in the top 11 of the 2-mile run. For the girls, Rough Rider senior Leah Larson finished 3rd with a 12:44.96 time. Sequim freshman Emily Bear already drawing plenty of attention as a promising newcomer, placed 11th with 14:11.77. On the boys' side, Port Angeles senior Easton Dempsey was 6th at a 10:59.26 time, with senior teammate Andre Campbell close behind in 8th at 11:08.79. Sequim junior Reed Randall rounded out the top performances with a 10th place finish in at 11:15.58. Rough Rider coach Angie Gooding said she was proud of her team's performance, noting a strong freshman class and a promising outlook for the season. Meanwhile, Rough Rider senior Piper Alton continues to balance soccer and car racing. While suiting up for the Port Angeles soccer team, she's also keeping her foot on the pedal in her number 43 Legends race car. At Wenatchee Speedway, she qualified 4th in the 15-car field and finished 10th in the main event. At State Line Speedway in Post Falls, Idaho, over 3 days of racing, she qualified 7th, 9th, and 14th out of 26 cars and finished 9th and 15th in the mains. If her team can repair their engine in time, Alton will race September 13th at Evergreen Speedway in Monroe and September 19th and 20th at Wenatchee Valley's Oval Speedway. The Port Angeles Rough Rider football team holds its walkthrough practice today at Civic Field, prepping for Friday's home opener against Whatcom County power Mount Baker. The Mountaineers are led by longtime head coach Ron Lepper, entering his 30th season with a career record of 208 and 101. Mount Baker went 5-5 last year in a tough black and blue Whatcom division against Linden Christian, Meridian, and Nooksack Valley. They beat Port Angeles 49-22 in last year's opener, jumping out to a 49-0 lead before the running clock took over. This fall, Mount Baker lost 14 seniors, though, including their entire starting backfield. But they do return 4 starters on a talented offensive line anchored by All-League senior Noah Ilichev. The Mountaineers also feature one of the state's top tight ends in 6'6", 235-pound senior Kel Reardon. In the wing T offense, the new backfield is led by senior sprinter Bryce Cooper, who averaged 9 yards per carry as a backup last year. Fullback Caden Moa returns after averaging 7 yards per carry last year. And at quarterback, senior Toga Tigilau is healthy again after missing most of last season. He started as a sophomore in 2023, throwing for 856 yards and 5 touchdowns. Wideout Jet Ross headlines a speedy receiving corps for the Mountaineers. You can hear the Port Angeles-Mount Baker matchup tomorrow night here on KONP, our pregame at 5:05. Elsewhere today in prep sports, the Squim Wolves girls soccer team opens its season. They go to Squalicum with a 5 p.m. kickoff.
News Radio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Investors are digesting the latest economic data before tomorrow's all-important jobs report. The latest weekly jobless claims came in higher than expected at 237,000, while continuing claims were lower than expected. Markets today are up between 0.5 and 0.6%. The trade deficit is at a 4-month high, up nearly 33% in July to $78.3 billion. The report from the Commerce Department shows companies raced to bring in imports before President Trump's new tariffs kicked in. Elon Musk's Starlink satellite system is getting some new competition. JetBlue is set to become the first airline to use Amazon's Project Kuiper satellite network to power its onboard Wi-Fi. Amazon has said it plans to spend more than $10 billion on its satellite operations, but has suffered some delays in getting the business off the ground. I'm Nancy Lyons, Bloomberg Radio.
Check the traffic next.
At Angelus Furniture, right now you'll save big on bedding you can't afford to miss out on. These sales are limited to stock on hand. The Serta iComfort Eco Plush California King mattress is only $14.99. The Simmons Beauty Rest Select Full-Size Firm is only $4.49. A Queen is just $4.79. And a King Firm and Medium is $6.49. There are only a few left at these prices, so get the refreshing sleep you deserve tonight on your new Beauty Rest from Angelus Furniture.
At McCrory Carpet One, they know how important it is to feel confident in your flooring selection. You want to know it's going to look exactly the way you want it once it's installed in your home. That's why they offer their one-of-a-kind guarantee, making sure you're 100% happy that the floor you've created together is as beautiful as the one in your dreams. If not, they'll replace it for free. That's what they call the beautiful guarantee. Peace of mind is yours with every installation. Always priced right, always done right. McCrory Carpet One.
News Radio KONP. Traffic and roads.
Right up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center we go. Steve's got an eye on things for us on the roads this noon hour. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, kind of a busy, little bit hectic afternoon out there. If you're out and about in the Port Angeles area, fairly busy, and definitely want to be careful and watch your speeds. They're cleaning up an earlier accident. I think that's pretty much taken care of, but up at Lordson Boulevard and Laurel Street, right along in there, is a larger rig like a dump truck versus a vehicle. Everybody seems to be okay on that one, and they just started getting it cleaned up, but that was really tying up some traffic up there. So just pay attention to your driving skills out there, and we'll keep everybody safe this afternoon. If you're on the highway between Port Angeles and Squim, no real problems out there. It is definitely busy. A little slow going through our construction area, but things seem to be going fairly well in that direction. If you're going beyond Squim, right now, Hood Canal Bridge, good to go. No scheduled marine openings currently, and state ferries are starting to run a little bit behind schedule, so just plan ahead if you're going to be taking the ferry system across the water there. If you're headed out to the west end, we're doing okay out in that direction. Our construction areas have got a little bit of a slowdown as you're going through there, especially up here at the top of the truck route. Other than that, things moving along fairly well out there. So everybody take care and be safe. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
All right, thank you, Steve. We are still expecting some sunshine at some point this afternoon with a high in the mid to upper 70s. Clear through tonight with lows in the mid-50s to low 60s. A sunny Friday on the way with highs expected in the 70s. Right now in Port Townsend, 58 degrees. It's 68 in Sequim now and 63 out at Fairchild Airport here in Port Angeles.
From ABC News Tech Trends. NFL teams are getting some new tech this season.
Bringing AI innovation, bringing Copilot, and bringing more technology enabled by Azure to the sidelines, the coaches' booth.
Microsoft VP Bryson Gordon says the Surface tablets on the sidelines of every game will have Copilot artificial intelligence on them.
Letting coaches and analysts and players review previous plays in seconds, and it lets them sort, filter, and find patterns even faster.
So when coaches and players are trying to figure out what went wrong or why something went right on a play,
they're down in 7 and the pass is caught by Wilson.
They can see other plays from the game in a matter of seconds.
We've built, using GitHub Copilot, this capability for them to very quickly go through and isolate certain plays, find certain characteristics, and sort of get to that insight quickly.
With Tech Trends, I'm Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
A better life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
We talk a lot about ultra-processed foods, and you know that they're not good for you. You also know that they are pretty irresistible, and they are chemically designed to be that way. Now, if you're trying to improve your health, instead of just cutting calories or cutting out food groups entirely or forcing yourself to eat things you don't enjoy, one thing you can do is simply try to eat cleaner. Beyond feeling better, you're more likely to live longer. That's according to a new meta-analysis out of Brazil that found this. For each 10% increase in total calories from ultra-processed foods, the risk of dying prematurely rose by nearly 3%. It's not easy. An estimated 3/4 of the food here in the United States is ultra-processed one way or another. But if you ask me, seeking out real food is worth the extra effort for your body and your brain. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Here's the tale of the daily med fill. Same old pharmacy, same old bill, but those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings wrangler rode in, cool as can be. Tap GoodRx, saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. Deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. That one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on home insurance by checking Allstate first.
Hold it.
Like you know to check the assembly instructions first.
Hold it.
Before building the bookcase.
And done. Whew. You can let go.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Potential savings vary. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hello, I'm Jerry Stewart, and this is One Moment in America. We've all heard the famous words of Patriot Patrick Henry, "Give me liberty or give me death." But is there something else he said that day you may not know? I'll tell you that story after this important message. Hello, I'm Jerry Stewart. It's been over 20 years now since I started doing my radio programs. How did I get the idea to start it? 2 reasons. First, to remind us all where we've come from and our duty to make our great America even greater. My second reason, some in our nation today are trying hard to rewrite history with lies and half-truths, and that's wrong. Want to hear 70 of my favorite true stories on one CD? Call me now at 817-995-4607 and place your order. Or you can go online at www.jerrystewartusa.com. And the cost? Just $19.95 plus $6 shipping and handling, a total of $25.95. Place your order now, and I'll include with it my book, Saving America, at no additional charge. So call now at 817-995-4607 or go online at www.jerrystewartusa.com. Give us a call. Until then, tell the truth. God bless you. On March the 23rd, 1775, Patrick Henry gave a powerful speech in which he insisted that America must seek freedom. But how did Patrick Henry believe that they could ever win? Listen to his own words. He said, "There is a just God who presides over the destinies of nations and who will raise up friends to fight our battles for us." Patrick Henry believed that they could only win their liberty if God helped, and he did. Is it too late for God to help us today? Not if we ask. I'm Jerry Stewart, and that was One Moment in America.
This afternoon, Nancy Staffen shares her work starting a new home share program here. Tyler Benedict of the Squim City Band previews their season finale concert, movies, musicals, and marches. And Kevin Holt is back with another edition of Business Bits.
Join us at 1 o'clock Monday through Thursday for the Todd Ortloff Show on KONP. Information to keep you engaged in your community with the people and organizations who keep it running. Sponsored by Dan Shappy, Farmers Insurance.
Thrill Seekers, your final summer action-packed blowout is happening this weekend. Get your tickets now for the sprint boat races at the Extreme Sports Park on Saturday and Sunday. Witness the jaw-dropping explosion of power as these boats navigate through wild twists and turns. See the West Coast Surf Riders and the PNW Water X racer groups during halftime. The 2025 American Sprint Boat Racing season finale. Tickets on sale now at extremesportspark.net.
Rolls to the right, throws back in the middle, intercepted! And it's Reek Woolen!
12s, the wait is over. The Seahawks kick off the 2025 regular season against the San Francisco 49ers at Lumen Field. Join Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman this Sunday, pregame at noon, kickoff at 1:05, right here on the Seahawks Radio Network.
And a handoff to Walker, he goes left side, and he's going to get in! Touchdown, Seahawks! Great drive by the Hawks.
There is nothing more exciting than hearing a story about someone who beat the odds. Someone like a Hank Aaron, or a Steve Jobs, a Dolly Parton, or even an Arnold Palmer or a Merle Haggard. Someone who said, "I will not give up on my dreams." We've got plenty of those stories to share, underdog stories about an underdog country. I'm Lee Habib. Join me in Our American Stories each day right here.
Weekdays from 8 to 10 p.m. and Sunday afternoons from 1 to 3.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm John Scott. Appearing before a Senate committee, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. criticized the CDC for failing miserably to protect public health during the COVID pandemic.
Its disastrous and nonsensical policies destroyed small businesses, violated civil liberties, closed our schools, caused generational damage in doing so, massed infants with no science, and heightened economic inequality. And yet all those oppressive and unscientific interventions failed to do anything about the disease itself.
He accused the recently ousted director, Susan Maderas, of lying in a Wall Street Journal op-ed published today when she said she was pressured to pre-approve the recommendations of his vaccine advisory panel. Texas lawmakers passing a measure that would let state residents sue out-of-state abortion pill providers for as much as $100,000.
This marks the first bill of its kind in any state. Supporters hail the measure as a tool to stop medication abortions, which remain available despite being outlawed in Texas. But pro-abortion groups deride the legislation. They call the measure a bounty hunter bill that would encourage private citizens to engage in a form of legalized vigilante justice. State lawmakers have sent the measure to Governor Greg Abbott's desk.
That's correspondent Andrew Stewart. If the law is signed, it's likely to face legal challenges. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the U.S. is designating two Ecuadorian gangs as foreign terrorist organizations. The Trump administration's latest move against cartels, Los Lobos and Los Choneros, are two Ecuadorian gangs blamed for much of the violence that began since the pandemic. On Wall Street, the Dow had 297 points, the Nasdaq up 146. More at townhall.com.
This is an urgent announcement for anyone that's $10,000 or more in debt. Before you make another minimum payment, you need to know there are special programs that can completely free you of your debt. Total Financial Freedom can help you become debt-free in months instead of years. Resolve your credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and timeshares. Call now at 800-533-6605 for a free consultation. For 17 years, Total Financial Freedom has helped thousands get out of debt. You can feel confident when calling because Total Financial Freedom is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and a Christian-owned company. Don't get stuck in the endless cycle of payments. You have the right to get your debt resolved and substantially reduce your monthly payments. Call Christian-owned Total Financial Freedom now at 800-533-6605. That's 800-533-6605. 800-533-6605.
New York authorities investigating two teens who may have been operating a subway.
The Metropolitan Transportation Authority is investigating whether a subway operator allowed multiple minors to try their hand at driving a train after video circulated on social media. Each show a young man at the helm of two different R160 train cars operating above ground in broad daylight. In each video, the same train operator can be seen standing alongside the young men as they pilot the train. The Metropolitan Transportation Authority did not respond to questions about when the video was taken and whether the employee has been identified. I'm Bill Alexander.
Governor Ron DeSantis claims the 2020 census numbers for Florida need fixing to grant the state another congressional seat. He blames the U.S. Census Bureau for shortchanging Florida. DeSantis argues that an undercount of almost 3.5% missed around 761,000 residents. Breaking news at townhall.com. Giorgio Armani, a stalwart of Milan ready-to-wear, who revolutionized fashion, has died at the age of 91. He was planning a major event to celebrate 50 years of his Armani fashion house during Milan Fashion Week, that coming up in September. Emergency services in Portugal say an electric streetcar that is one of Lisbon's big tourist attractions derailed, killing 16 and injuring 21.
Emergency response officials say 5 of the injured are in serious condition. Officials also say a child is among the injured. In addition, first responders say an unknown number of the injured are foreigners. Eyewitnesses say the streetcar careened down the hill, apparently out of control.
That yellow and white streetcar was lying on its side on a narrow road after Wednesday's accident. More on these stories at townhall.com. I'm John Scott.
This is the Newsradio KONP Noon Report.
Good afternoon. Todd Ortloff in the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Thursday, September 4th. A 16-year-old Sequim High School student was in custody today after allegedly threatening to shoot up Sequim High School. The Clallam County Sheriff's Office says at about 2:15 this morning, they were notified by the FBI of a potential threat involving Sequim High School. The FBI had been contacted by TikTok, who reported a post on their social media platform stating, quote, "I'm going to shoot up Sequim High School tomorrow." The FBI provided information that identified a Sequim home as the source of the post. Clallam County Sheriff's Department Sergeant Keegan immediately notified the Sequim Police School Resource Officer, and a suspect was quickly identified as a 16-year-old student at Sequim High School. At about 4 this morning, Sergeant Keegan and Deputy Glass contacted the boy at his home. He was taken into custody without incident and transported to the Clallam County Juvenile Services Facility. The Clallam County Sheriff's Office says the investigation is ongoing and no further information will be released at this time due to the suspect's age. Clallam County Commissioners paused approving a plan that would allow the Clallam Conservation District to collect a $5 annual fee on parcels countywide. At a public hearing yesterday, commissioners said they support the concept, but they want revisions to it before moving forward. The commissioners heard more than an hour of testimony, most of those opposed to the plan, such as Mark Curtis of Sequim.
You also state that you're 100% grant funded. Now you ask the landowners to make up for your budgetary shortfall. Let's look at your budget. Coming from a business background, I know that payroll is your biggest controllable expense. Cutting payroll and benefits by 20% will save you $108,000. Being that you are non-regulatory, if response and turnaround time is slowed, there's no regulatory consequence. We are asking you to tighten your belts, just like every taxpayer in Clallam County is doing right now.
Denise Lapia of Squim also voiced concerns about the proposal.
We property owners in Clallam County are overtaxed as it is. To add to our burden, there are more taxes being proposed and discussed, which include your upcoming vote on the 1% levy increase on our property taxes and the cultural access tax of a 0.1% increase in sales tax. Commissioners, when will it be enough for you? When will you start to realize that you have taxed us beyond what is fair and what we can afford?
Conservation District officials maintained the new fee is vital for stable funding to support things like soil and water projects, habitat restoration, agricultural programs, especially as grants are becoming less reliable. County commissioners have asked for a 10-year sunset clause, confirmation that the charge would stay fixed at $5 without automatic increases, and a requirement that the district submit annual public reports on how the money's used. With those revisions being put into the resolution, it will go back before county commissioners later. More news after this.
Hi, this is John Holm, president of Tri-State Roofing, your local and family-owned company covering the entire Olympic Peninsula area. The difference with Tri-State Roofing is we separate ourselves with the quality of products we offer, customer service, including an A+ rating with the BBB, solid safety plans, and the best labor guarantees around. Call 360-208-2222.
Tri-State Roofing, we got you covered.
Clallam PUD is now offering rebates on the purchase of Energy Star washers and dryers. Energy Star certified appliances save energy and money as they meet strict energy efficiency specifications. The rebates will be applied as a credit to your utility bill. Visit clallampud.net for more information or to submit an application. You will need to provide your purchase receipt. Clallam PUD, bringing energy to life.
With more than 52 years of experience, Permabuilt designs post-frame buildings built to last. From barns and garages to workshops and storage, we create custom structures for any property, residential, farm, or commercial. Our team will work closely with you to match your goals and budget. Call 800-824-9552. That's 800-824-9552 or visit permabuilt.com to start planning today.
In other news, a Port Angeles man was killed Wednesday after his log truck collided with a semi-truck on I-90 near North Bend. State Patrol troopers say the crash happened just before 12:45 yesterday afternoon near Exit 32 when a westbound semi-truck blew a tire and then veered into another lane, hitting the log truck. The impact caused the log truck to then roll into a nearby field. That log truck driver, 38-year-old Dwayne Sukert of Port Angeles, who worked for Ellis Trucking, was rushed to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle, where he later died. The other driver, a 57-year-old man from Longview, was taken to another hospital with some serious injuries. The crash shut down 2 lanes of westbound I-90 for almost 5 hours. Olympic Medical Center and UW Medicine have now officially signed a letter of intent to explore a potential affiliation, signaling the start of a formal due diligence process. The announcement made during OMC's Board of Commissioners meeting yesterday. Brad Simmons, president of UW Medicine Hospitals and Clinics, attended the meeting to outline how the two organizations could benefit from closer alignment. He also met with OMC leadership and toured its facilities, trying to better understand the local needs. Officials say this next step involves a joint financial and operational assessment of OMC to identify opportunities for growth and to ensure any future agreement is sustainable. In a prepared release, OMC officials emphasized that the current services remain unchanged while this process happens, and patients should continue care as usual. Hawaii has joined Washington, California, and Oregon in the new West Coast Health Alliance, a partnership providing unified science-based immunization guidance. Formed this week, the alliance aims to ensure vaccine recommendations are based on safety and efficacy rather than politics. Governors Bob Ferguson, Gavin Newsom, Tina Kotek, and now Hawaii's Josh Green said the collaboration will give residents consistent, evidence-based information. Now, each state will adopt strategies suited to its own laws and communities while aligning guidance with national medical organizations. The partnership also reaffirms tribal sovereignty over vaccine services. State leaders say the alliance responds to recent changes at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which they argue have weakened consistent federal vaccine recommendations. This is News Radio KONP.
Hey there, Dawn Riling from Olympic Hot Tub. It's fair season, but the absolute best savings on a hot tub aren't at the fair. They're at Olympic. Purchase a saltwater hot spring spa and get a deal that's truly untoppable. A Lux Smart Top hardcover included for free. Wow! Up to $4,500 off the best tub you can own. And it's only at Olympic till September 14th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Let's hear it for our crosswalk heroes. School's back, and so are our fearless crossing guards. They're the traffic-taming, kid-protecting legends of the crosswalks. When you see those neon vests and stop signs, slow down and give them a thumbs up. They're keeping our littlest scholars safe. Kids, remember to follow their lead and cross like champs. Let's make crossing the street the coolest part of the school day. This message brought to you by all of us at Radio Pacific.
What is the Armstrong and Getty Show?
Well, I'll tell you what it's not. The old style of talk radio where you're always screaming our side's always right and your side's always wrong, or taking a bunch of long, dull calls. No, we take a fast-paced look at the events of the day, the issues, the controversies, with a skeptical eye and a somewhat humorous tongue.
We try to be funny. We'll leave that up to you to determine whether or not you think it's funny. It's the Armstrong and Getty Show. Catch us weekdays from 9 to noon on News Radio KONP.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon, with daytime highs approaching 72. Winds out of the northwest, around 5 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 57 tonight, mainly clear skies. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 72. Upper 60s Saturday with a slight chance of rain showers. Turning cooler Sunday with highs in the mid-60s. Chance for showers continues. A peek at the extended shows, 64 Monday, 62 Tuesday, and 63 on Wednesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently 63.
1246, sports with Robert Workman next.
Baseball Wednesday, the Rays won their sixth straight 9-4 over the Mariners to keep their AL wildcard hopes alive. Tampa Bay now 2.5 games behind Seattle for that final wildcard. Diamondbacks shut out the Rangers 2-0. Zach Gallen and the half pints with a 5-hitter, while hard luck loser Jack Leiter and his butane buddies allowed just 3 hits. Pirates blanked the Dodgers 3-0. 5 Bucco arms combined on a 5-hitter. Pittsburgh's league-leading 17th shutout of the season. Brewers scored 5 times in the first and beat the Phillies 6-3. Blue Jays belted 5 home runs to overpower the Reds 13-9. Orioles went deep 4 times, including back-to-back jacks in the third to complete their sweep of the Padres 7-5. Nasim Nunez hit the first 2 homers of his career to lead the Nationals over the Marlins 10-5.
I really proved myself, right? Like, I have to be the one to believe that I could hit, so when you go out there and see it, gives you a little bit more belief.
Wins for the Giants, Astros, Guardians, Tigers, Braves, Cardinals, White Sox, and Angels. U.S. Open tennis, American Amanda Anisimova upset 2-seed Iga Swiatek to make the women's semifinals. She'll meet Naomi Osaka tonight. 4-seed Jessica Pegula takes on number 1 and defending champ Aryna Sabalenka in this evening's other semifinal. Men's top seed Yannick Sinner continued his title defense with a straight set win. Sinner will face Canada's Felix Auger-Aliassime in the semifinals tomorrow after number 2 Carlos Alcaraz meets all-timer Novak Djokovic. And the 106th season of the NFL begins tonight when the Super Bowl champion Eagles host the Dallas Cowboys. That's Thursday Sports.
Today, Port Angeles Public Works Director.
You've seen on the news, gold and silver are at an all-time high. Ever wonder what your old jewelry and coin collections are worth? Come see me at American Rare Coin and Gold in Squim. We can all use a little extra money, right? Here at American Rare Coin, we love to buy gold and silver and provide you the best prices. American Rare Coin and Gold, 338 West Washington in Sequim, or call 360-968-4943. 360-968-4943.
This afternoon, Nancy Steffen shares her work starting a new home share program here. Tyler Benedict of the Sequim City Band previews their season finale concert, movies, musicals, and marches. And Kevin Holt is back with another edition of Business Bits.
Join us at 1 o'clock Monday through Thursday for the Todd Ortloff Show on KONP. Information to keep you engaged in your community with the people and organizations who keep it running. Sponsored by Dan Shappy, Farmers Insurance.
This is Husky football.
Coleman space on the left side. Does it again. Goes for the home run ball. Has Denzel Boston open in the end zone. I think he got it.
It's another Saturday under the lights at Husky Stadium as Washington hosts UC Davis.
In the pocket, steps up, grabbed and down.
Kickoff is at 8.
Guess who? Zach Durfee.
Catch all the action on your home for UW football
on News Radio KONP. Huskies football brought to you by Leeds Farm Supply and Equipment Sales.
News Radio KONP Business. This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. We're seeing a few cracks in the labor market ahead of tomorrow's monthly payrolls report. According to outplacement firm Challenger Gray & Christmas, American companies announced plans in August to add close to 1,500 jobs. That's the fewest for the month going back to 2009. In a separate report, ADP says private sector payrolls increased by 54,000, roughly half the pace of the prior month. From great genes to great earnings, shares of American Eagle are soaring today following a quarter driven by surging sales and a viral ad campaign with actress Sydney Sweeney. Another big apparel named Gap is branching out. The company says it'll test a wider assortment of beauty products and accessories at stores within stores at Old Navy this fall. Markets are higher. They're up between 0.6 and 0.7%. I'm Nancy Lyons, Bloomberg Radio.
Let's check the traffic one last time next.
Dr. Sam Scovegard here, General Surgeon at Olympic Medical Center. If you've noticed a bulge beneath your skin, on your abdomen or groin, it could be a hernia. And if it's causing you pain, it's time to talk to your doctor. If your hernia requires surgery, your general surgery team at OMC is here to help. Talk to your primary care provider if you think you may need treatment for a hernia. Let's keep you healthy and hernia-free together. Learn more at olympicmedical.org/hernia.
It's the time of year to get your equipment serviced for the winter, and Leeds Farm Supply can get you taken care of. We service everything from mowers to tractors to handheld chainsaws and weed eaters. We have trained techs to take care of any machine from handhelds to large tractors. We have competitive pricing and a quick turnaround. Call us at 452-1400 and talk to Jeremiah to get your service taken care of. Leeds Farm Supply, your local farm and equipment dealer, and so much more. Located at 259-110 Highway 101 in Sequim.
News Radio KONP, traffic and roads.
Right up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center now. That's where Steve's standing by with an eye on the roads for us this noon hour. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, kind of a busy, little bit hectic afternoon out there. If you're out and about in the Port Angeles area, fairly busy, and definitely want to be careful and watch your speeds. They're cleaning up an earlier accident. I think that's pretty much taken care of, but up at Lords and Boulevard and Laurel Street, right along in there, it was a larger rig like a dump truck versus a vehicle. Everybody seems to be okay on that one, and they just started getting it cleaned up, but that was really tying up some traffic up there. So just pay attention to your driving skills out there, and we'll keep everybody safe this afternoon. If you're on the highway between Port Angeles and Sequim, no real problems out there. It is definitely busy. A little slow going to our construction area, but things seem to be going fairly well in that direction. If you're going beyond Sequim, right now, Hood Canal Bridge, good to go. No scheduled marine openings currently, and state ferries are starting to run a little bit behind schedule, so just plan ahead if you're going to be taking the ferry system across the water there. If you're headed out to the west end, we're doing okay out in that direction. Our construction areas have got a little bit of a slowdown as you're going through there, especially up here at the top of the truck route. Other than that, things moving along fairly well out there. So everybody take care and be safe. This is Steve reporting live from Clown Transit for KONP.
Thank you, Steve. Currently out there, the clouds and haze kind of lingering out there. We are still expecting some sunshine today with a high in the upper 70s. We'll see if that comes our way later. Clear tonight in the forecast, mid-50s to low 60s, and sunshine tomorrow on the way with highs in the 70s. Right now it's 61 in Port Townsend. It's 70 in Sequim, 61 degrees now out at Fairchild Airport here in Port Angeles. Well, in China, robots on parade as part of a big military parade yesterday. ABC's Britt Clinette is in Beijing and got a look.
China showcasing new weapons, including nuclear missiles experts say could be capable of striking the continental U.S. Powerful attack drones, including large torpedo-like underwater drones and lasers China calls the most powerful in the world. And four-legged robot wolves designed to locate mines and hunt down soldiers. All while thousands of troops paraded in perfect unison.
Closer to our area, as law enforcement agencies increasingly turn to technology to fight crime, one company now putting forward what they say is the next great frontier. ABC's Morgan Norwood explains.
An artificial intelligence startup known as Flock Safety is making a bold claim. It says its drones could eradicate almost all crime in America in less than a decade.
We think with technology, with people, with policy, crime can be a thing of the past.
Many police departments already use the company's network of 80,000 cameras, providing license plate information and video surveillance. But now the company is taking its technology to the skies. But critics raising privacy concerns, accusing Flock Safety of trying to place the whole country under surveillance.
Well, later this month, Naomi Whitehead will turn 115. She's the current oldest living American, born September 26th of 1910. Born in rural Georgia, where she grew up on a farm picking cotton and tobacco. Her husband died in 1979. She had 3 sons, and they're all dead. The oldest verifiable person in the U.S. is Sarah Noss, who died on December 30th, 1999, at the age of 119 and 97 days.
The internet is forever. The text you write, the email you send, your social media posts can follow you for life. Except if you don't do one thing. I'm Kim Commando for DraftKings Pick 6. Week 1 is your shot to play free for $1 million prize. Download the app, use code KIMK, and get in the game. When it comes to texting, email, and social media, never write or post anything you wouldn't want to defend in court. But if you're using the internet to store photos and other documents, the internet is most definitely not forever. In some cases, it's use it or lose it. With Google, Hotmail, and LinkedIn, they will dump your account after 2 years if you don't sign in. Others aren't so lenient. Shutterfly is only 18 months if you don't buy something. Yahoo and Dropbox are only good for a year with no activity. Instagram, 90 days. And X could dump you after 30 days. Back to forever. Facebook and TikTok. They keep you alive for a long time. Sign up for my free newsletter at getkim.com. NFL fans, week 1 is your shot to play free and stack $1 million cash bag with DraftKings Pick 6, an official partner of the NFL. Here's how. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app, DraftKings' easiest way to play fantasy. Enter for free and pick more or less on 6-player stats for week 1. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app, use code KIMK, opt in for free, and start stacking entries for NFL Week 1. Zero cost, huge upside. In partnership with DraftKings Pick 6.
The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. Must claim token for free entry in Bag Builder contest. Only perfect entries earn share of cash prize. Tokens are single use and expire September 8th at 8:15 p.m. Eastern. Terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
I'm John Tesh, and coming up, get ready to be happier and more productive in as little as 3 minutes. It's all about adopting a new bedtime routine. That's next in today's Intelligence for Your Life Minute.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto. at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
Turns out being happier and more productive is as simple as adopting a new bedtime routine. And the best part? It takes as little as 3 minutes a day. First, write down the things you accomplished today. Psychologist Dr. Woody Woodward says reflecting on our accomplishments, no matter how small, feeds into a sense of meaning and purpose that's proven to lift our mood. And then write down one important thing you want to accomplish tomorrow. When you create a plan, it forces you to think about what's most important to you. So why do this right before bed? Because a study from Harvard Med School found that our brain tends to memorize the last thing we see before falling asleep. And if you focus on a list of accomplishments and goals at bedtime, your brain's going to memorize those. You'll wake up feeling focused and ready to win your day. I'm John Tesh with today's Intelligence for Your Life Minute.
Get in on the heart-stopping action this weekend during the 2025 Steel American Sprint Boat Racing Season Finale. It all goes down Saturday and Sunday at the Extreme Sports Park. Pre-race and halftime entertainers, along with incredible food and drink vendors, all make for a great weekend. Camp with us for one or even both nights. Don't miss out on the final races of the season. Get your tickets now at extremesportspark.net.
Hello, Clallam County. Tri-State's opening their new showroom in Sequim by appointment only, offering roofing, Pella windows, siding, patio covers, and doors. To schedule an appointment, please call 360-208-2222 or visit tristate.pro. Thank you for putting your trust in Tri-State Roofing. We got you covered.
Tri-State Roofing, we got you covered.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. Intense and often skeptical questioning by Republicans and Democrats at a Senate Finance Committee hearing with Health Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. Members of both parties telling him his actions have led to many people being unable to get vaccines easily or at all. Senator Elizabeth Warren, Massachusetts Democrat.
Now, Senator Kennedy,
I'm not taking them away from anybody.
Secretary,
you want me to indicate a product for which there is no clinical data?
Senator,
is that what you want?
Secretary Kennedy, you said you wouldn't, and now you did.
I'm not taking them away. Everybody can get access to them.
No, they can't walk into a pharmacy the way they could last month and get access.
It depends on the state. It depends on the state.
Democrats in the panel urged Kennedy to resign. Florida announcing it's moving to end all vaccine mandates, even for school children, goes against recent polling, says ABC's Sherry Preston.
An overwhelming number of Florida parents, 82%, told KFF and the Washington Post in a poll this summer they strongly support vaccine mandates for public school students. A recent poll by the T.H. Chan School of Public Health at Harvard showed 79% of Americans overall support school requirements for vaccines against things like polio, measles, and the mumps.
Despite foreign aid being attacked this year, the State Department has just announced a new initiative to distribute antiviral medication to treat and prevent HIV infections around the world through the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief. Ukraine's president calls today's phone call with President Trump productive, that they discussed putting more economic pressure on Russia with tougher sanctions to try to end the war. 26 countries are ready to use their militaries to enforce a ceasefire in Ukraine, says French President Macron after a conference in Paris. Wall Street major indexes ending the day solidly higher. In the bond market, Treasury yields fell. You're listening to ABC News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Defending the administration's decision not to grant the Palestinian delegation visas ahead of the UN General Assembly later this month, Secretary of State Marco Rubio also criticizing countries, including U.S. allies, who have said they plan to recognize a Palestinian state.
We told all these countries before they went out and they did this, we told them that if they did this, they went through with this thing, there wasn't going to be a Palestinian state, because that's not the way a Palestinian state is going to happen.
Rubio at a news conference in Ecuador today. The number of people killed in Gaza since the Hamas attack in October 2023 has passed 64,000, says the Gaza Ministry of Health, which is run by Hamas. Washington, D.C. filing a federal lawsuit against the Trump administration's deployment of National Guard troops in the city. New York now requiring statewide bell-to-bell restrictions on smartphones in K-12 schools. Under the new regulations, school districts across New York developed their own policy. Michael Mulgrew is president of the United Federation of Teachers.
We know from the schools that have done it in the past, it takes a couple of months to acclimate the students saying, it's okay, we're not taking anything away from you, we're actually trying to give you something back, which is your ability to focus.
For the 41st straight time, no one matched the 6 numbers in the Powerball drawing. The jackpot for Saturday will now be $1.7 billion. That's the third largest in Powerball history. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
This message is brought to you by the law firm of McMiniman and McMiniman, Port Angeles and Sequim.
Hi, I'm Clallam County Sheriff Brian King. As kids return to school, they may not always be mindful of safety while walking or waiting for buses. It's our responsibility to watch out for them. Stay alert for the pedestrians, yield at crosswalks, slow down in school zones, and give buses ample space. Let's ensure a safe back-to-school season together.
The law firm of McMiniman and McMiniman, protecting you and your family since 1985.
In conjunction with Sequim Valley Chapel and Harper Ridgeview Funeral Home, we're excited to announce the installation of 3 additional niche banks within the Veterans Circle at Mount Angeles Memorial Park in Port Angeles. Each bank has 48 niches, and each niche comfortably houses 1 to 2 sets of remains. We are proud to help serve veterans and their families by adding this additional memorial space to Mount Angeles Memorial Park. Peninsula Cemeteries, because endings matter.
KONP News brought to you by RE/MAX Evergreen Real Estate Outstanding Agents. Outstanding results, 457-6600. Olympic Medical Center and UW Medicine have officially signed a letter of intent to begin a formal review process. UW Medicine leaders visiting Port Angeles yesterday, touring OMC and outlining how an affiliation between the two could expand services and keep care local. Officials say no changes in patient services are expected while this formal review is underway. Washington, California, and Oregon announcing a new West Coast Health Alliance. The governors of the 3 states say the alliance will safeguard public health policy with science-based decisions following recent federal shakeups at the CDC.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon, with daytime highs approaching 72. Northwesterly winds around 5 miles per hour. Lows level off around 57 tonight, mainly clear skies. Daytime highs approaching 72 tomorrow. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Upper 60s Saturday with a slight chance of rain showers. Cooler Sunday with highs in the mid-60s. Chance for showers continues. Looking further out, 64 Monday, 62 Tuesday, and 63 on Wednesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, it's 61 degrees.
It's the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP. Now, here's Todd.
All right, lots to cover today on the program. Glad you could join us. We're going to talk about a possible solution, or at least a part of a cog in the wheel of housing issues here locally. Maybe this is one way we can alleviate some pressure, and it's a unique approach to getting people housing, and it's called home sharing. And Nancy Steffens joins us. She is in her retirement taking this on as kind of a project, and she made some news just recently as giving this presentation to the Port Angeles Chamber of Commerce about this. So she's here to talk to us a bit about this. Nancy, it's good to see you again. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
So I'm just going to start with this. Explain what home sharing is.
So home sharing is defined as two or more unrelated people sharing a house or condo. So the idea is that the homeowner who is house rich, but perhaps a little cash poor or lonely, decides to rent out one bedroom in their house, and then they share the public spaces of the house with the renter.
Okay. That said, I mean, some people on the face of that go, wait a minute, I'm not sure I'm ready for that. So, but yet, then I hear from your presentation, people, when they understand the program a little bit better, are like, oh, well, wait a minute. Yeah, this isn't quite what I thought it would be.
Yeah, so there are several different approaches to home sharing, and I have researched this over the past couple of years because it's just so hard to build affordable housing here. So the company that I am advocating and trying to lure to come to Clallam County is called Nesterly. And the reason I think Nesterly would work here is because they have a very thorough vetting process and a comprehensive service that includes the financial aspect too. So they require for everyone, the homeowner as well as the potential renters, at least 2 references, and they call those people. So you can't have an AI app just make up something to make you sound like the best thing since sliced bread. And then a full background report. And they use a company for their background report called Checker Incorporated. It includes a national criminal search, a sex offender registry and global watch list search, as well as an address history search to catch those people who change their addresses maybe every couple of months, right? That would be a red flag. And also Social Security verification. So they really try hard to make sure that the people are who they say they are, and that it's safe to share your home with them.
So where did you discover this as a program?
I first heard about Nesterly during the pandemic on the PBS NewsHour. And if you just go to the YouTube and say PBS NewsHour Home Share, this will pop right up. Or alternatively, I gave this whole presentation for the Economic Development Council, Coffee with Colleen, yesterday, and that whole thing is recorded. So you can get more details, and I'll have time to share with you here during this radio program. And that video is actually incorporated into that recording, so you could watch it there too.
This is something I think Europe does this more. I mean, this is other parts of the world. Maybe this is more common than we know of here in the U.S.
Nesterly started because a graduate student named Noelle Marcus was having trouble finding affordable housing, and she just observed in Boston there are a lot of mature homeowners with lots of space in their houses, and so she started a matching program for graduate students and the mature homeowners. And of course, we have a lot of folks that fit the mature homeowner profile in our community, so I think that would work well here too, as long as they feel safe with the program.
I'm going to key on one thing. The lonely part is, I mean, there's this financial part of it, this housing part of it, but there's a companionship part of this too. That
companionship and safety.
Yeah.
So if you think back to your pyramid of needs, first you have to have fresh water. Second, you have to have food. Third, you have to have shelter. So just for physical safety and health, you need shelter. But also mentally, it's so important to have somebody to interact with, somebody to talk to, and someone who can call for help if you need it. Like when I worked at the hospital, which I did until December of 2022, I was constantly admitting people who had fallen in their own homes, broke their hips. Well, if you have a housemate, they can call 911 for you. Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to have to be able to crawl to a phone yourself to call for help.
Yeah. And it's a reality here. Our demographics kind of point that direction, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
How is when you start pitching this to people, I mean, what have been the reaction so far? I mean,
Well, Nesterly wants 50 people signed up to be home hosts, they call them, before they'll really be interested in an area. But I have 25 names on my list right now.
So you're
and
halfway
about
there?
40% of those say right now. I want to do this right now.
Interesting.
So some of those people, for example, are recently widowed or recently divorced, and so now they're living on one income. And especially if you're over 60, which is the largest demographic of newly homeless people, women over the age of 60, here as well as across the nation. and you have this little tiny Social Security check to live on, you can't pay rent anymore.
Yeah.
And so if they have their own house, they can't pay their mortgage. They need to have someone come in and help with the cost of that, help with home maintenance. And Nesterly encourages what they call task exchange. So if you agree to do lawn care for the homeowner, snow shoveling, shopping, cleaning, then they suggest reducing the price of the rent by, say, a minimum wage amount per each hour worked. So that's another way to help. Nesterly also does not require the first month rent, last month rent, and security deposits that so many apartment rentals require.
Which can be cost prohibitive for some folks, right?
Right. And Mary Bedke of the Boys and Girls Club, in fact, told me that. She said, I can pay my folks enough to pay the rent, but they can't come up with that much cash to get into an apartment. So Nesterly does not require that either. They also do the whole financial thing themselves. So they have the renter's bank account information. They have the homeowner's bank account information. They keep 2.5% of the rent as their fee, and they handle all the financial details for you once the contract is signed.
So it's pretty turnkey. I mean, once you get up and rolling with this as
well. It's a very comprehensive program.
Does this, are there zoning rules and some things doing this or not? I mean,
there was a housing symposium here on May 8th, and a gal from Commerce came over, and she said any area in the state of Washington that is zoned residential has to allow this. They cannot refuse to let you do this. So that's very important.
Yeah, and this is obviously not a short-term rental, so that's not going to get you into any sort of those issues for licensing and that as well. So, all right.
So Nesterly will allow as short as 1 month, but we really want to pitch this as long-term. So at least 3 months for our seasonal park workers, our seasonal locums at the hospital, that kind of thing. I would advocate for at least 3 months, and I'd love people to do this for years and just become, serial Nesterly homeowners.
Nesters. I'm not sure what you would call it. They're renters, but they're not. It's not just that.
Right? So Nesterly calls them hosts. So serial Nesterly hosts, and they call the renters guests.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Nesterly does the contracts. They do the background checks. They do dispute resolution as well, which is also a fantastic help. And it's all within this one fee. When a contract is signed, there's a one-time fee of $95 to $195 that is charged to the renter. But then in terms of the homeowner, they keep 2.5% of the monthly rent after that.
Okay.
Right.
And the homeowner can negotiate this as to what they seem fair. I mean, if they have a great fit with somebody and they want to charge them really a low rent because they just like it, they can do that. There's no set fee on this.
And I did ask them because Norma Turner wanted to know what is the minimum that Nesterly allows for a monthly rental fee. And the minimum is $200. So if you really want to help a single parent family, for example,
charge them $200 a month rent, and
and the single parent family moves into your house, and you're willing to help do childcare for that family, which would be fantastic. That would save that young family so much money and provide a real service to the community too.
Yeah, there is a symbiosis of things that happen with that. I mean, I think every individual nest might be different as to what's happening with the host and the guest there, but I'm envisioning things like meal sharing sometimes. I mean, it gets tough to cook for one. If you can have somebody else take on some of that task and
have fun talking over dinner, sure, why not?
Right.
It's entirely up to you how much time you spend together. But, the Coast Guard can't find places to live. Out-of-town Peninsula College students are workforce. Because we're just not paid enough here to pay for rents anymore. So anybody in hospitality, anybody who works for a nonprofit, anybody who has to survive on one paycheck.
Yeah, this is for them. I mean, this
for them.
could really work.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so you need 50 people to sign up. So obviously the next question is, how does someone do this? Find out more from you. What should they do?
So I have a special Gmail, and the CC is just to stand for Clallam County, but all of this is lowercase letters. So CC Home Share Hosts, and that's the plural form because I wanted it to 50. So CC Home Share Hosts, HOSTS @gmail.com. If you're interested, send me your phone number, your email, your timeline. It doesn't have to be right now. It can say eventually. It can say a question mark. I just want to get those 50 names on the list, and then maybe we can get them to come here. I also need a partner agency, And our Housing Resource Center Director, Sharon Maggard, is working with me on that, as well as Christy Smith from United Way. And we hope to get a number of entities to collaborate with, because they also do require an upfront sum of money. They recently entered the Bellingham market about 6 weeks ago, and there was an article in the Cascadia, Bellingham's newspaper, and the cost for that service was $55,000 for 2 years of work on Nesterly's part, which does not seem like an insurmountable amount of money to me. If we can have several agencies working together, I think we can do this.
Well, and it is a huge need here. I mean, housing is the number one thing that every agency's been talking about. So this could be, I don't know if it's the full solution, but it could be a big part of it.
At least
certainly.
It's a niche solution, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and as you mentioned, I think demographically we have a lot of potential for folks that might be able to, have a room, have a spot.
Yeah, and people who are recently widowed, for example, but want to stay in their own house here as long as possible, because who wouldn't, right? This could allow them to do that and keep up with their home maintenance and their property tax payments and everything else they have to come up with.
And certainly I think in your previous world, and you already have alluded to some things you dealt with as a nurse at OMC. I mean, you've seen this happen. You've seen this with the travelers that have come through, and they can't find a place to stay.
Right. Yeah.
That's kind of tough when you're hired to be here for a few months and you can't.
Yeah. And I'm not a nurse. I'm a doctor. I work as a hospitalist. But the other thing, again, my husband, Gerald Steffens, who is the medical director for the volunteer clinic, again, before the eviction moratorium expired 2 years ago, hardly anybody at Serenity House, and he goes out there every Wednesday night to do a medical clinic, hardly anybody was over the age of 50. Now, hardly anybody is less than 50.
Really?
So he is really seeing that.
Yeah, and that's a tough change too, because I mean, no spring chickens, as they say. There's a lot of things that come with people having issues and being older.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Healthcare, and are you really going to hire an 80-year-old to do DoorDash? No, you're not.
Yeah.
Their oldest client out there recently has been 92 years old.
Right. Did you ever think when you hung up the stethoscope, so to speak, that this would be something you'd dive into?
Well, I wasn't too surprised. I didn't want to do medicine again, but I hate insurance companies so much, I decided to volunteer for Sheba. So I got training to learn how to counsel people about Medicare. So I see the people who are right on that knife edge of financial insolvency, and my husband sees the ones who have fallen off.
Yeah, so this seemed like a natural fit, or at least a landing spot in retirement. So I'm glad you've done this, because I think it takes somebody to kind of carry the ball over the goal line, so to speak, and
be relentless, keep pushing, be the squeaky wheel. That's me.
All right, so if you're interested in hosting in this, or actually probably any sort of a question, but CC Home Share Hosts, that's plural, at gmail.com.
Right.
Drop an email. Nancy will get right back to you.
Yeah.
And let's get you well over the 50 and see if we can get this thing to happen here. Right?
Absolutely. Thanks
Nancy,
for the help.
So great to see you. Thanks for stopping by again. And maybe we'll have to do an update if we get
sure.
Get a little
if we
closer
get him
to
here,
them
we'll
here.
do that.
I'd love to talk more about that.
Because then the next thing will be volunteers to help people sign up.
That's right. So, all right. Nancy Steffens, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in, and we'll talk a little bit about the home share program that potentially could be happening here. We're going to take a break. We're going to talk a little bit about the Sequim City Band's final concert of the season after this.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP.
I understand that as our world becomes more automated, receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect what matters most.
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Bathfitter is celebrating 42,000 installations in Western Washington by offering you monthly payments as low as $125 a month.
Hooray!
Custom fit tub and shower solutions are installed in as little as 1 day, and every installation is backed by a lifetime warranty. Choose Bathfitter Northwest because they work here, they live here, and they love making bathrooms better for their neighbors. Visit bathfitternw.com to schedule a free consultation. This offer won't last long.
This is Alan Barnard, and this volunteer spotlight shines on the American Legion Riders, part of our local American Legion Post 29. The Legion Riders share their special bond between military service and the motorcycling community. Our local Legion Riders regularly provide flag lines for military honors at services for local veterans who pass away. They honor veterans 12 months a year at graveside and church services, rain or shine. They also ride in parades, assist in patriotic ceremonies around the county, and raise funds for charities and scholarships, and so much more. More veterans who are motorcycle enthusiasts are needed. If you want to join the Riders, please email rjtucker1964@gmail.com. That's rjtucker1964@gmail.com. It's said that service is the rent we pay for our space on Earth. That's why we present this volunteer spotlight, sponsored by Brown's Outdoor.
Hey there, Dawn Reiling from Olympic Hot Tub. It's fair season, but the absolute best savings on a hot tub aren't at the fair. They're at Olympic. Purchase a saltwater hot spring spa and get a deal that's truly untoppable. A Lux Smart Top hardcover included for free. Wow! Up to $4,500 off the best tub you can own. And it's only at Olympic till September 14th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar, the better tasting, more refreshing zero sugar cola. Listen to that endless pour. Pure refreshment. If it sounds this good, just imagine how it tastes. Oh yeah, so good. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
All right, next segment, we're going to talk about the last of a concert. I like to set it up that way because it makes people think that it's going to be the end of things, but it's only the end of the outdoor season for the Sequim City Band. So we welcome a couple of my regulars in to talk about that. Of course, the director of the band, Tyler Benedict's joining us. Hi, Tyler. Good to see you again.
Yep.
And Vicki Blakesley is here as well. She's helps with all the promotion and all of that with the band. How many years have you played with the band, Vicki?
I think I'm on my 15th year.
Okay, all right.
I think.
It's good enough. Yeah. That's a good enough answer.
Yeah.
That's a nice round number.
Yeah, it's a nice round number.
So this weekend on Sunday afternoon, it's movies, musicals, and marches. And it's the last go-round outside at the band shell there at the James Center at Cary Blake Park. So, Tyler, what do you got lined up for us?
Yeah, this is actually the first year where we've had 6 outdoor concerts.
Yeah, I was going to say you've had more this year,
Yeah,
haven't you?
because we did. We actually last month had a chamber music concert that featured 3 of our groups, and it was very successful. That was the first time we had it, and we had a good audience, and the weather was nice. That's always a plus when we're outside.
That's right.
But yeah, this is our last concert of the outdoor season. Where did the time go? It seems like we just had our first one in May.
You were sitting over here and we were talking about, hey, we're getting ready for the outside stuff.
I know,
right?
the Sequim Irrigation Festival. But this one is going to be a nice one. Movies, musicals, and marches, one of our favorite themes because it's obviously has a lot of different musical different.
Yeah, you're aware that this is coming a tradition, our last concert of the summer.
I was just going to say that. Don't you tend to do this theme of a concert?
It is.
As the last
it's kind of been our annual concert at the end of the year.
Now, with that said, it's not that you don't play the same song, so don't be out there thinking, well, I went last year, I don't need to go this year.
No, totally different music. So yeah, we always, obviously the title kind of lets it be what we're going to play, but featuring movie soundtracks and musicals and of course marches of different types. Some of them overlap, so we might have a march that was in a movie or a musical that was also a movie. So there's kind of overlapping themes here.
We should have given Todd a quiz.
I know.
About which movie would you list that has as a theme song a march? Do you think he'd come up with it?
Well, I can because I'm reading the lip.
Yeah,
there you go.
You already gave it away to
him. I wouldn't have. I'm looking at some of these and say, oh, yeah, that would be one, but I wouldn't have guessed. I wouldn't have thought it off the top of my head. So.
Just think of, who was the actor who had the motorcycle that went around the concentration camp they were in? At The Great Escape?
Yeah, The Great Escape.
The movie, The Great
Steve
Escape?
McQueen.
That's
Yes,
it.
Steve McQueen.
Yeah.
Right. But you also got some things in. Well, we'll go through this. I mean,
Yeah.
Exodus. There's one that's like, oh yeah,
It's a great theme, great soundtrack.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so let's talk about what you do have online. We gave one away. One March that is also a movie theme is The Great Escape.
Great Escape.
But you have some other things as far as movie themes go.
Yeah, we are. Well, the big thing that I think we're going to showcase is kind of this contemporary of the Wicked soundtrack, which is also tied in with Wizard of Oz. So we're going to play a medley of tunes from the Wizard of Oz, which is one of my favorite musical medleys. All the standard ones from the Wizard of Oz, and then we're going to finish that up and then do selections from Wicked, which many people obviously know from the movies and, of course, the musical, if you're a fan of that. Mm-hmm. It's a great arrangement featuring many of the songs from the movie that came out in last November, and then it's got a few
that you'll see in the part 2 that's coming
in this
up.
November. Yeah, it's coming up. So we kind of have a Wizard of Oz theme going on towards the end of the concert. Okay. And then one of our big ones is a Hollywood Milestones. This is a new piece for us, which I couldn't believe we didn't have in our 1,600 piece library. If you can't see because we're obviously on the radio, but there is a list of movies a mile long on this one. There's so many movies, and you go, oh, that's right. Oh, that's my favorite movie, E.T., John Williams. That's kind of the showcase of this one. I was mentioning to the band, I mean, of course, E.T. is this wonderful movie, and we all remember it. If you turned the soundtrack off on E.T., I think the movie would be pretty boring.
You're probably right.
It's a really exciting soundtrack, so I'm excited. That'll be a fun one to play. And there's Jurassic Park, and we got a lot of John Williams in there, and Raiders March, and then of course it starts out with Jaws, which has been 50 years ago this year.
Right.
Jaws came out.
Right.
So the tubas and the low folks get to play.
Yeah, you did that for your tuba friends, right, Tyler?
Of course, with my tuba friends get to play that. Yes.
Those who don't know, Tyler's a tuba player. So
yes, don't let the cat out of the bag.
But that's not it. I mean, you've got some Broadway stuff too.
Yeah,
right. Some musicals,
some newer stuff. The Jersey Boys musical. Yeah. That's a really fun arrangement, and. Besides that, not too much. Well, we have West Side Story, which is great. Yes, and of course Wicked. Yes, we have a fun little arrangement of Guy Officer Krupke, which is just a fun tune. Yeah. It works really well with band arrangement. It's a fun arrangement
talk
with percussion
about
and everything.
High energy.
Yeah.
Woo.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's a good one. And then we're starting off a concert with a traditional Florentiner March. If you're a band geek, you know that one. It's been around for a long time.
Yep.
It's nice, if you're a trumpet player, you sweat at the beginning. We have a nice little trumpet fanfare at the beginning. So
we're going to get it out of the way early, though. That's good.
It's the very first thing.
Old trumpet player, that's good.
Yep.
It's like, now I can enjoy the rest of the concert.
Yep.
And you also are going to wrap things up with a Sousa March.
An older Sousa March, The Crusader, which is kind of a fun one. It's almost a little comedic in that there's some interesting strains.
His tempo is a little slower than you might imagine from Sousa March. She hadn't quite developed that big, bold, blasting sound. It's a really interesting march and fun to play.
Yeah, a lot of people think of Sousa being this bombastic composer and huge in this march. Actually, probably 3/4 of Sousa marches are really quiet and just kind of a more intimate melody. And then, of course, at the end, it gets big. But that's one of them, Crusader, yep.
All right, it's a great lineup. You start at 3. The price is right. It's free.
It is, yes.
Free at 3. How about that? But this is the last time you guys are going to be outside. And as you mentioned, it's been a pretty good year, though, outside.
It has. We've had great weather this year. The weather's looking decent on the weekend. Yeah. I think the temperature will be okay. There's possibly some raindrops, but we always have diehards bring their umbrellas. You'll be fine.
By the way, we need to give a little community service announcement on this one. For those people who like to come to the park and then use one of the benches that surround it on the horseshoe area in the audience, be advised that there's an upgrade going on. And this week and next week, the benches have been removed because that path will be paved. It'll no longer be gravel. It'll be much easier for anybody who has a walker or a wheelchair to get all the way from the parking lot on paved surface. But this project is going on right now, this week and next week.
Okay, so
no benches.
So bring your own lawn chair.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
That'll be great. It'll actually be great improvement in the park because for the KSQM concerts or any of our concerts, there's not really a way for ADA accessibility.
Yeah, it's tough to get into the actual grounds there. Yeah.
There's parking, but then you get into gravel. But now this will be a way to be more accessible to everybody.
Right. So, as I teased at the beginning, this is just the end of the outdoor season.
Yes.
You turn right around next month and you're inside. So, just a quick little tease as to what's happening.
So we kind of change gears a little bit. One of our indoor concerts, we tend to feature more, concert music, symphonic music, and that's kind of where we're at. We say we finish this up, and then we have our next concert. Actually, it's going to be on a Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock at Port Angeles High School at the Performing Arts Center. We're combining with the Port Angeles High School band.
Oh, that's nice.
With Jarrett Hansen's group. He's got they just started this week, but we've got a nice concert planned with them. Their symphonic band. They're going to play, and then we're going to play, and we're calling it Timeless Treasures. It's kind of classic pieces, either some newer ones and some older ones. Some more tried and true band literature, and then some newer stuff too that's been very popular in the last few decades.
All right. Stand by, because we're going to probably be talking about that when we get closer. But just letting folks know that this isn't the end of seeing the Swim City Band for the year.
Yes.
It's just a change of venue.
Exactly.
But you should come out on Sunday afternoon and catch the last outdoor one, because there's something about a community band outside in that wonderful facility to play in anyway, which was built for just what you guys are doing on Sunday there.
Yeah.
So
we hope you come out and check us out if you haven't before. If you have, welcome back.
And I'm looking at the list. You're going to like every one of the songs here.
Oh,
you'll recognize every single one of them.
If somebody can't recognize 2 or 3 that are their favorites or very memorable, I'll be surprised, because there's so many different tunes that are represented in this concert.
Yeah, it's a lot. You got a lot of music going out on thing. I'm kind of counting these up. There's a lot of
pieces.
A lot of pieces within each other.
You're getting your money's worth on this one.
You could pay twice as much and get your money's worth.
All right. Good luck on Sunday, 3 o'clock at the James Center for the Performing Arts. That's at Carey Blake Park. Head on out there and check out the Swim City Band, their final outdoor concert. Movies, musicals, and marches. Be a good one. Tyler's good to see you again.
Thanks, Todd.
Tyler Benedict, he's the conductor for the band, and Vicki Blakesley. Blake's good to see you as well.
Todd.
Thanks for coming in. All right, we're going to take a break and be back with more in just a moment.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP.
Hi, this is John Holm, president of Tri-State Roofing, your local and family-owned company covering the entire Olympic Peninsula area. The difference with Tri-State Roofing is we separate ourselves with the quality of products we offer, customer service, including an A+ rating with the BBB, solid safety plans, and the best labor guarantees around. Call 360-208-2222.
Tri-State Roofing, we got you covered.
The cabinetry in your home should keep you organized while fitting your space, your style, and your budget. At Hartnagel Building Supply, we make sure it does that and more. We're the only local company that sells and installs cabinetry, so you're supported from start to finish and beyond. Our installer isn't some outside contractor. He's an actual employee owner with over 30 years of experience who works with our designer to ensure a perfect installation. And it all starts with a free design consultation, an in-home measure, and digital 3D renderings, so you know exactly what you're getting before you order. With multiple options of cabinetry brands, countertops, and organizing solutions, we match you with the best fit. And it's not just kitchens and baths. Think mudrooms, garages, laundry rooms, bars, and more. Visit lumbertraders.com for more info, and as always, we deeply appreciate you for shopping local and employee-owned.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. Sharp questions and accusations by both Republicans and Democrats for Health Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. at the Senate Finance Committee hearing. Senator Mark Warner, Virginia Democrat.
Do you accept the fact that 1 million Americans died from COVID? I don't know how many died. You're the Secretary of Health and Human Services. You don't have any idea how many Americans died from COVID?
Kennedy denying that he's keeping people from getting vaccines, but acknowledging availability now depends on policies in the individual states. Ukraine's president called today's phone call with President Trump productive and that they discussed putting more economic pressure on Russia with tougher sanctions to try to end the war. To other European leaders on the call, President Trump urged them to stop buying Russian oil and to exert more pressure themselves. Wall Street indexes ending the day solidly higher. In the bond market, Treasury yields fell. This is ABC News.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon, with daytime highs approaching 72. Northwesterly winds around 5 miles per hour. Lows level off around 57 tonight, mainly clear skies. Daytime highs approaching 72 tomorrow. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Upper 60s Saturday with a slight chance of rain showers. Cooler Sunday with highs in the mid-60s. Chance for showers continues. Looking further out, 64 Monday, 62 Tuesday, and 63 on Wednesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, it's 61 degrees.
All right, welcome back to the program. It's our final segment or two here on a Thursday, and that means it's our business bits. And that's when our business guru, Kevin Holt, joins us to talk about things he's uncovered, discovered, or wished he hadn't seen in any way.
Oh, yeah.
Today we're gonna get into some student loan debt stuff.
Yes, we are.
And you're gonna wrap this around with one of the things you've been famous for
That's
talking
correct.
about, and that's Merton's Law.
Our good friend Merton strikes again. Yes, indeed. And we have a little bit of a short porch today, but we have just enough time to share some revolting revelations in higher education. If you've had lunch, have something handy. You might lose it. When it comes to student loan debt, we just might have another case of Merton's Law. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the phrase, Merton's Law is also known as the law of unintended consequences. You had this great idea that you thought would work, and not only did it not work, but it made things worse. We wanted to make college affordable, and we've probably ended up making it wholly unaffordable and put tens of millions of people in trillions of dollars of debt. So I used that Merton's Law phrase when I reported on our incredible ballooning student loan debt earlier this year. That was back in May when all the news broke that the new Department of Education...
Yeah, you're going to have to start paying up.
New sheriff in town, yeah. I wondered how so many paid so much and got so little. I asked how such poorly performing loans continued to be written year after year after year. And I might have found the answer. There's a strong possibility that the root cause of our student loan crisis can be found way back in 1980. The Jimmy Carter administration wanted to expand educational opportunities for U.S. youth. The Carter administration worked with the Congress. They don't do that anymore, but they all worked together, and they passed the Middle Income Student Assistance Act. And this was kind of in response to people's complaints that, I'm too rich to be poor, and I'm too poor to be rich when it comes to student aid. Now everybody's just too poor, but that's another story. The Middle Income Student Assistance Act made federally subsidized student loans available to nearly all students. This was previously an extremely limited program with strict application and income requirements. The new law eliminated most restrictions. Now, many of us remember that before 1980, we could work during college and pay as we went. We'd work summers, save as much as possible, and then squeak by on part-time work during school. When subsidized loans became widely available in 1980, students could borrow the full cost of college on their signature. Promises were made of higher earnings and easy repayment. Students could drop that part-time work and focus on their classes. It seemed like a win-win.
Well, yeah.
Then Merton stepped in, and now we have the unintended consequences of the Middle Income Student Assistance Act. It kind of sounds like MISA.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, college administrators quickly realized price sensitivity was no longer a tuition limiting factor. Whenever you sell something on credit, nobody cares how much it costs. Universities could raise prices and revenue. Administrators could amass funding to pursue pet projects like those costly sports programs, increased staffing, amenities for those costly sports programs, amenities for everybody. We've got money now. The Mises Institute reports that since student loans became universally available in 1980, average tuition and fees increased by 1,200%.
Wow.
Over that same time, consumer price inflation rose only 230%.
So it went up 1,000. Inflation plus 1,000. Yeah.
Or almost 6 times faster than inflation. Yeah. Boy, they do things fast on campus. So what do we get for all that money, for that 1,200% increase in cost? Must have gotten something. Well, we did. A recent Forbes magazine report revealed that since 1980, full-time college administrators increased by 160%.
Well, yeah, there's a vice provost of everything now, right? Yeah.
And an assistant to the vice provost. Because with all those administrators to support, other professionals employed by colleges increased 450%.
Yeah, like you said, when you have the new vice provost,
That's
you also
right.
have 5 more people to support that office.
And a couple of consultants to figure out what to do. The number of full-time faculty in the U.S. more than doubled. And in addition to student loan money, federal, state, and local governments spent another $237 billion in higher education in 2022 alone. All of this while student enrollment grew by 78%.
So if you're thinking of a teeter-totter, one side is definitely on the ground and the other side is in the air, right?
This is like those teeter-totters where the other person falls off, goes head over heels, and lands in your lap. Yeah. 78% increase in students, 450% increase in administrator support staff.
So it really didn't do the unintended consequence did more than the intended consequence.
Absolutely.
In this, right?
Yeah. Well, when does government money not drive inflation?
True.
And especially when you put it in the hands of 18-year-olds who have never signed a contract, never borrowed money, and never repaid a loan. And then sit those 18-year-olds in an office with a financial aid professional whose personal job and whose institution can only exist with a steadily increasing volume of student loan money. So we put all those things together, and what do we get? Well, I've got 3 questions. This Forbes data made me ask these questions of myself. What if college administrators are inflating their bureaucracies and creating these little self-serving fiefdoms at taxpayer expense? What if higher education has devolved from a path to opportunity to a debt trap for millions of people? And what if the Americans who couldn't afford college are now paying taxes to subsidize the degrees of those who went to school?
Now, I'm going to just add something here. I think this also drives down, so you've got Peninsula College, so that's the attractiveness of a smaller school now.
Yes.
Because I think a lot of this illustration that you pointed out, really apparent at the large institutions.
Gigantism. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You're not.
I'm here for the 500-student BioSci 101 class.
Right.
Where the instructor is a little tiny person down at the bottom of that auditorium, and we only see the professor by signature on our syllabus.
Yep. Exactly. Right. Okay. So we're going to take a break. We're going to, we're not done with this.
No, I'll answer those questions when
we'll
we
come back and dive into that with our business bits and Kevin Holt right after this.
I understand that as our world becomes more automated, receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect what matters most.
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Losing a loved one is overwhelming. Your mind and your heart shut down. That's where Drennan & Ford Funeral Home and Crematory comes in. They took the burden off my family's shoulders and guided us through everything we needed to do. No pushy sales tactics or unanswered questions. They just held our hands and took care of everything we asked. That's why I will always recommend Drennan & Ford for end-of-life decisions. They handle the hurt like no one else can. Call 360-457-1210.
Come out to Olympic Game Farm. It's the home of the waving bears.
Come out to Olympic Game Farm for some tender love and care. Now it's not impolite to stick out your tongue, considering the critters you'll be among. Come out to Olympic Game Farm, it's the home of the waving bears. The llama and the yak know you wanna come back, and the tiger always gets a few stares. Come out to Olympic Game Farm, it's the home of the waving bears.
Hi, this is Mike from American Rare Coin and Gold in Sequim. Do you have a house project needs doing but lacking the funds? Now is a great time to sell gold, silver, or rare coins. Prices are at an all-time high. We love to buy coin collections, gold and silver jewelry and bullion. We even help with entire estates. You could be sitting on a literal gold mine. Come see me, Mike, at American Rare Coin and Gold in Sequim. Call 360-968-4943.
Thrill Seekers, your final summer action-packed blowout is happening this weekend. Get your tickets now for the sprint boat races at the Extreme Sports Park on Saturday and Sunday. Witness the jaw-dropping explosion of power as these boats navigate through wild twists and turns. The pre-race skydivers will kick off the action. The 2025 American Sprint Boat Racing season finale this Saturday and Sunday. Tickets on sale now at extremesportspark.net.
As the school bells ring again, let's keep our young learners safe. Stay vigilant while driving through school zones, watching for kids crossing. Remind your family, friends, and neighbors to be extra cautious too. Let's make this academic year accident-free. Our children's well-being is a shared responsibility. Slow down, stay attentive, and ensure a safe journey for every student. Together, we can create a secure environment as kids head back to school. This message brought to you by all of us at Radio Pacific.
It's a Business Bits. This is where we kind of dive into things that, well, this is the business of higher education, I guess, might be a way to call it today. But it does affect a lot of folks. And you know what? I think it really has an effect on the economy as well.
Terribly.
Right?
Yeah.
So all of us are dealing with this, whether you're in school or have a kid in school or anything like that as well in college. So back to more of the laws of unintended consequences.
That's right.
And student loan debt.
Well, and Todd makes a good point about how it affects the economy, because debt takes money away from current purchases. So if you come out of college with $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 in student loan debt, students are already discovering this, and this is a big deal in the news, then you don't buy that new house when you and your girlfriend get married. You don't buy a new car when you get that new job that you got that college degree for, because you're too busy paying off an old bill. Right. And I don't know if people remember old Ken Greenbaum's furniture stores in the Seattle area. He had 7 of them. But when all this new tech and equipment and things that we could buy for the internet and stuff came out, he closed them all. He said this is taking everybody's money. They don't have any money for furniture anymore because they're going into they're taking on $100 a month internet bill, and they're buying a computer. Back then was $5,000, and they're spending all this other money that they used to spend on furniture. I can't sell furniture anymore.
Interesting.
So you can change the economy when you put all this debt in it. Well, I asked 3 questions. Are they building a bureaucracy? Is this something that's happening at taxpayers' expense? Is it really taking people from opportunity to debt crisis? The American Greatness blog provides a specific answer to those questions. Here's an example. California State University Northridge is a campus in the floundering California State University system. This school ranks #1 in the Western United States for diversity. The school offers healing spaces for students, and Northridge offers training on unconscious bias and encourages students to challenge authority. Yet, in spite of being diverse, welcoming, and safe, this campus has a 4-year graduation rate of 17%.
Whoa.
I don't even know how that's legal.
Yeah, how do they stay? And that's a state college.
That's
at some point, there's probably got to be some sort of standard, wouldn't you think?
Well, it's a big system, and I think they're just hiding amongst the big successes that they have down there. So fewer than 1/5 of the Northridge students leave with anything to show for their money, and only half of the 6-year students complete a graduate degree. That means 80% of this institution's 4-year students and half of its graduate students fail to get a degree. Instead, these people join the 40% of student debt holders who have no degree to show for their money.
So they're not even getting that paper that was the promise of a higher paying job that would pay off these debts that were going back to the Carter
With the easy
administration, all of
repayment.
that, right?
That's
Yeah.
right. No, this is buying a dead horse.
Wow.
And so at this campus, it just might be that the answers to my earlier questions are yes, yes, and yes. This is a bloated, bureaucratic, dead-end debt trap financed by taxpayers. Worse, many of those who do graduate lack the basic skills needed in the workforce. Employers have been loudly raising this concern for many years. We don't really need people who get out of college with a degree in challenging authority.
No.
So, could this be why a recent Gates Foundation research showed that young adults are completely losing interest in a college education? Does higher education need to show value or face extinction? Unless a college degree is needed for a specific career like accounting or engineering, and engineering's doing very well, by the way, students can skip the overpriced indoctrination universities. To me, the diversity that really matters in today's education is the diversity of opportunities now available. The future isn't just for college anymore. And you know, if college is in the picture, there are over 20 schools that have never accepted any federal or other government funding. These institutions manage to stay afloat while remaining free of government overreach. And you can easily access that list with a web or AI search. List me the colleges that never took student loans or never took government money. Some of these are religious schools, but one of them is a university that advertises on KONP quite a lot with constitutional classes and things like that. And another one is called Gutenberg University. It's in California, of all things. They teach strictly from classic books.
Hence the name.
That's right.
Right, yeah.
That's right.
I like it.
And as Todd mentioned earlier, we have opportunities like our affordable Peninsula College, small classes. You can get a 4-year degree through Western for local college costs. You get to meet your professors.
Yeah, that's it. Talk to somebody who goes off to the big school.
That's right.
Yeah,
No,
that's
not until you're a junior, and only with an appointment.
And then maybe.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so men and women of all ages, whether you've gone to school or not, can join these apprenticeship programs. And it's not just electricians and plumbers and pipe fitters anymore. There's a whole wide range of apprentice opportunities. And these students get paid while they're learning from experienced industry professionals. It sounds like a lot of fun. If I were younger, I'd jump in on that. And then certification programs. These can be had for courses in business, in health, or tech, and they can start a career with great potential. Back in the 90s, they used to say that the average person's going to change careers 5 times. I'm guessing that going forward is going to be more like 20 times. And so there's also an argument that says, why invest so heavily in something that you might not be doing for very long? So instead, maybe put a toe in the water with a certification program, find something that really works for you. And you might be some of my classmates when I was in my MBA program. They were going there on Hewlett-Packard's dime. They had gotten a job with Hewlett-Packard, showed some opportunities, and Hewlett said, you know what, let's send you to graduate school, get you an MBA so you can run things for us, and as long as you get a B, we'll pay.
You're good.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so now, I don't know who does that now, but keep your eyes open. You never know. So for today's students, I think the warning is very clear. Avoid the consequences of Merton's Law. Consider all your options and choose wisely. The personal finances you save will be your own. And some of those certification programs are 12 weeks. Some go 2 years, but the point is you can find something that'll get you started without an $80,000 debt.
Right. And Peninsula College, we should point out, has certification programs as well, too. They got very
whole
short,
catalog.
6-week type things that can get you out and working right away in a lot of pretty good paying jobs.
That's right. And the jobs are here. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is that many of the jobs that are here are not publicized. Because when you advertise a job right now, you get buried with junk mail.
Yep.
So people will be very surprised to hear me say that the best way to get a job here now is networking.
Imagine that. That's like number one on your list,
sure
right?
Is.
Yeah, networking.
So next time we will jump into the retail apocalypse that's going on across the country, and I want to help people understand how the store closings here are not our fault. Nothing to do with us. So all this and more next time on Business Bits.
All right. And the best thing you can do is go to his website. That's Kevin Holton. He's at kevinyourbusinesscoach.com. All one word, kevinyourbusinesscoach.com. He's got all of, you can learn all about Merton's Law.
That's right.
In many other ways and many other things, too, with past shows and great things. And importantly, you can contact Kevin with your questions or ideas for a show down the line.
And when you do that, you might hear the answer on the radio.
Yeah. Imagine that.
What is this thing that we're doing here anyway?
Sure.
It's quite strange. Yes. Hello. Hello. Right. Is this thing on?
Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in again. We'll call that good for our show and check in with the news next.
Your community-minded friends at First Fed bring you the Community Corner, highlighting good things happening right here in our area.
First Presbyterian Church in Port Angeles invites you to their sizzling super sale this Saturday, benefiting Olympic Angels, the local nonprofit supporting foster families in our county. The super sale is Saturday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's at First Presbyterian Church along 8th Street at Oak in Port Angeles. In Sequim, a very special backyard birding event hosted by the Olympic Audubon Society happens from 10 a.m. to noon this Saturday. That's at the Dungeness River Nature Center. Enjoy a keynote presentation on native plants for bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds. Attract bees and invite hummingbirds to your garden. Attend this Saturday's backyard birding event, 10 till noon at the Dungeness River Nature Center.
Community Corner, presented by First Fed.
Checkup on Health, presented by Olympic Medical Center.
Checkup on Health with Chris Whitting.
It's estimated about 250,000 accidents each year are caused by underinflated tires. Donald Shea of the Rubber Manufacturers of America.
We're urging consumers once a month to take 5 minutes to check the air pressure in each of their tires, including the spare, to make sure they have a properly inflated tire. Before any long trip, check your air pressure.
But where do we find out what the pressure should be?
Check your owner's manual. There's a notice on the doorpost of your vehicle or the door itself, which will tell you what the proper inflation pressure is, as well as what's the proper load for that tire in that vehicle. There's no worse combination than an underinflated, overloaded vehicle.
The Rubber Manufacturers Association slogan is, "Be tire smart, do your part." Aside from tire pressure, make sure your alignment, tire rotation, and tread depth are also okay. With Checkup on Health, I'm Chris Whitting.
When you need surgery, timing is everything. At Olympic Medical Center, our skilled general surgery team is here for you 24 hours a day, ensuring you get the care you need. From planned procedures like hernia repairs to emergencies like appendectomies and even full trauma care, we're ready. Meet our dedicated local team and learn more about our comprehensive services at olympicmedical.org/general surgery.
The Lodge at Sherwood Village presents Fall Fun Day Festival. This is happening on Friday, September 5th. From 2 till 4, stop by the Lodge and enjoy live music by Stardust Big Band, dancing, and many fun yard games like cornhole and croquet. Bring your own apples and we'll send you home with fresh apple cider from our press. Fall is almost here and we're so excited to celebrate that with a Fun Day Festival. The Lodge is located at 660 Evergreen Farm Way in Sequim. See you on Friday, September 5th from 2 till 4.
Since 1945, News Radio KONP has been your source for news and community. We are News Radio KONP Port Angeles Sequim.
From ABC News, I'm Lindsay Davis, anchor of Prime, streaming weeknights on ABC News Live. It was contentious and combative, with the nation's health secretary getting sharp questions from both Republicans and Democrats at today's Senate Finance Committee hearing. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy is in Washington.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. defended last week's firing of the CDC director after less than a month on the job, saying the agency misled the public through the pandemic.
I need to fire some of those people to make sure this doesn't happen again.
In addition to sharp questions from Senate Democrats,
Sir, you're a charlatan. That's what you are.
Kennedy also faced the concerns of two Senate Republicans, both physicians. Bill Cassidy of Louisiana.
I would say effectively we're denying people vaccine.
John Barrasso of Wyoming.
I support vaccines. I'm a doctor. Vaccines work.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
The Trump administration is moving forward with its Supreme Court appeal to keep in place most of the tariffs the president has put on imports to the U.S. Two lower courts have now found that the president had no legal authority to impose those tariffs on his own. In a new lawsuit, the Trump administration alleges Southern California Edison's negligence involving its power equipment started the deadly Eaton fire in January and another fire in 2022.
Fire investigators have not yet determined the cause of the Eaton fire, but U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley says they have enough evidence that SoCal Edison is to blame, and prosecutors want the company to pay tens of millions of dollars.
It is our intention that Southern California Edison, the company itself, and not the ratepayers, will bear the burden of these costs.
Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
The District of Columbia has filed a federal lawsuit against the deployment of National Guard troops in the city, arguing it infringes on Washington's self-governance. The number of people killed in Gaza since the Hamas attack in October 2023 has now surpassed 64,000, according to the Gaza Ministry of Health, which is run by Hamas. After initial losses, Wall Street indexes closed higher. The Dow closed the day up 350 points. You're listening to ABC News.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
I'm Lindsay Davis. For the latest on today's headlines, be sure to watch Prime tonight, starting at 7 Eastern on ABC News Live. Now, more news.
Despite the debate around foreign aid, the State Department has announced a new initiative to distribute antiviral medication to treat and prevent HIV infections around the world through the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief. Rhode Island, Connecticut, and a developer of an offshore wind farm suing the Trump administration for stopping the nearly completed project. It was to power 350,000 homes. Ukraine's President Zelensky calls today's phone call with President Trump productive. Mr. Trump urged more economic pressure on Russia to try to end the war. ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers.
The White House says President Trump put pressure on European leaders to scale back economic ties with Russia during a meeting they had today with Ukraine's President Zelensky. According to a readout from the White House, the president emphasized Europe must stop purchasing Russian oil that is funding the war. The president has threatened more severe sanctions on